Wednesday morning rolls around. I wake up and I have a slight fever. And I'm like, oh no, the moment has arrived.
You've started ovulating? Welcome everyone to episode 78 of the Mashup, the best bourbon conversation you're near all week long. We're your hosts, Anthony and Steven. Hello, Anthony.
Hello, fella. How are you?
Doing great. So you look healthy right now, Anthony.
Oh, I look healthy. What are you trying to say? You trying to say that I may have been sick at some point? And you guys may or may not know this, but I'll go ahead and spill the tea. A lot of the times when we get together, we record sometimes one episode, sometimes two episodes. Depends on what we have time for. Yeah, so 2 weeks ago on a Monday, I started to feel a little bit down, but I thought it was allergies because...
Like sad?
Yeah. Well, I felt so blue because I had no bourbon. No, there was definitely bourbon, but I didn't drink it because I wasn't feeling well. And so I thought it was allergies. You guys hear I'm a little breathy again because the fall allergy season's in full swing. So I just assumed that my allergies were acting up. And so... I had a little headache, a little bit of nasal congestion, and I was like, okay, no thing to it. It's like what I always got. Tuesday morning, woke up, felt a little bit worse, and then I was like, well, I better take a COVID test because how long has the pandemic been going on?
A couple months.
A couple months? I thought it was a couple of years.
Oh, okay. Units, who cares?
I look over at Steve, just like, yeah, a couple months, couple years, whatever. And so all this time, as far as I know, I've never had COVID, but I'd never, I wasn't like fanatical about testing or whatever. So Tuesday morning I test, and I test negative. So I go about my day, I go to my job, everything else, and then I get home and I get that text message from you that says, you up for recording tonight? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I'm like, my allergies are a little bit bad, but we can definitely record.
That's nothing new, though.
That's nothing new. It's nothing new at all. Like, I'm constantly allergic. So I come over here, I record, and I don't even know. Like, I listen to the episodes, and I can't even tell if there was a difference with my voice. Maybe there was, maybe there wasn't. Wednesday morning rolls around. I wake up and I have a slight fever. And I'm like, oh no, the moment has arrived.
You've started ovulating?
I don't even know that concept yet.
That's what happens when your temperature goes up.
Oh, right? My God, my goodness. So, no, that's not what happened. So I said I'd better take a COVID test, and I took said COVID test second straight day. I kid you not. As soon as I, swab my nose and put the little droppy thing on the little test strip, you ever done that? It's a lot of fun.
I have.
As soon as like the liquid touched the test, it was instantly positive. It was like
you were hot.
Yeah. Like, you are hot. You were sizzling hot. Like, just avoid everybody right away. So, of course, I went through this range of emotion because I had just seen you for probably 3.5 hours the night before recording. And then I had seen colleagues and other people the day before, and I was so scared. I was concerned for my own well-being, but I didn't feel that bad. I just was concerned that maybe I had exposed you guys or somebody else or whatever. And so I quarantined. I did my duty. I had all kind of weird symptoms for like 2 days. And I know I kept checking in with you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Did you get annoyed by me? No. It was like literally like I wake up in the morning like, hey, are you feeling okay, Steven? And he was like, yeah, I'm fine. And I'm like, geez, how does this work? So really nobody else got it besides my wife, and she had very mild symptoms. The worst part is yet to come. You know what the worst part is?
No.
You remember, because I was very upset about this. And so I get through, this is a dumb thing to be upset about. I know everybody out there, you guys can yell at me, make fun of me, and say, how shallow I am. I deserve all of it. But after I got through the thick of the symptoms and started to feel better on the Sunday night, so it was Wednesday when I tested positive, on Sunday night, I'm like, okay, I feel well enough now. I'm going to try some bourbon. So I went and grabbed OWA because I know what that tastes like. I poured the tiniest bit in a Glencairn and I drank it, and it tasted awful. Like nothing I've ever tasted before. It tasted like sharp ethanol, woody, yuck.
Oh, so you actually had partial taste, but what you were tasting was not good.
Yeah, it was like my taste was reduced to like 40%. And then when I nosed, the nosing was reduced too. So it wasn't like a full loss of taste and smell, but it was enough to where like drinking was not enjoyable anymore.
When you said that, if you had no taste, I think that's a perfect time to start drinking some of the bourbon you don't like. Just so you don't have to throw it down the drain.
Yeah.
But yet, you can just get rid of it.
It's funny you should mention that because, well, I debated whether or not I should say this, but I do like barrel bourbon products. Mm-hmm. And I know we've reviewed Seagrass on the podcast, but I had a product called Barrel Armida. Mm-hmm. And that is one that's aged in I don't know, they take it and run it through pears and all kinds of other fruit baskets and pipes and casks and I don't know what. Barrel stuff just freaks me out. They're aged in 19 different things. And then it's how does it even taste good? Well, this tasted like overly pear bourbon. Oh, yeah. It was not something I could figure out how I was ever going to drink it. But guess what?
It was a good time to drink it.
Since I had no taste or smell, I went through the whatever it was, that last fourth of a bottle of, maybe it was a half of a bottle. That's what my drink was for the next week.
And that's a nice proof product too, isn't it?
Yeah, nice proof to be able to,
power down,
drink some of it and go, well, that was good. I didn't taste a darn thing. And so Barrel Armida got me through the rest of my lack of taste, but now my palate's back. And it's been back. It was back last week too, but that was a scary, I would say, I don't know how many days it actually was. I think it took 8 days before I tested negative, but the taste stuff lasted almost a full 7 days
I remember
afterwards.
That.
It was terrible.
Well, everyone, let this be a reminder to you to remember to pick your friends wisely. Because you don't want none of that coming to your house.
But here's the thing. I guess you must have picked it right, or maybe we just don't sit close enough for a podcast.
I guess we're 6 feet apart.
We're not 6 feet apart, definitely. I'm shocked that Arrgh, you weren't afflicted by it. I'm pleased that you weren't either.
Well, me too. Well, I didn't test myself. I don't know if that's good or bad, but.
Oh, maybe you just got an iron immune system. You actually had it and didn't know.
I guess maybe.
Yeah, no, you had 0 symptoms. So yeah. All I can figure is you must have had it at some point in time. You just didn't know it.
It could very well be. Well, Anthony, we did not have any reviews this past week.
I'm so sad about that.
Yeah, well. So if you like a shout out, just review us on Apple Podcast or Facebook, and next time we record, we'll give you a shout out. Anthony, we have an interesting bottle this evening.
It's very interesting.
It's very interesting. Tonight, we have a bottle of Jefferson's Ocean Aged at Sea Voyage 19 straight bourbon whiskey.
Oh my God, that's a mouthful. That's what we got there. We got some Jefferson's Ocean Aged at Sea. This is the wheated mash bill, right?
Yeah, the 19 was the wheated.
Nice. So this is from the Kentucky Artisan Distillery, and as we've mentioned in previous episodes, they handle the product for Jefferson's. The bottle date is 2019. The ABV on this guy is 45%. The proof is 90. The age is, it's non-age stated, but it's rumored to be 6 to 8 years old, and then they have additional months at sea where it ages. The mash bill is unknown, but it is the wheated mash bill, meaning that instead of having rye, they substitute the rye with wheat. Then it's corn and malted barley. The MSRP is $80.
Well, if you've seen one Jefferson, you've seen them all. It's kind of like the Weller product. This one just has the word ocean aged at sea in the middle of it.
And it has a lot of neck tags on it.
Oh, God, does it really?
It's got the big one that says ocean, and then what is this? It says, you can follow your barrel around the ocean, I think. I don't know. Yeah, it's a lot of words.
Yeah.
And I'm not particularly adept with reading, I don't really know how to read, so it's not working out for me tonight.
English is not your natural language.
What? What is that?
Exactly.
Exactly.
So this bottle is actually a pick from Jake's Cigar Bar.
Oh, the famous Jake's Cigar Bar here in our backyard, and actually in our extreme backyard.
Basically.
Yeah, it's not to tell you guys where we live because we don't need you guys showing up at our houses, but we're pretty close to Jake's Cigar Bar. That's become kind of a landmark place for people that have been visiting Lexington that like cigars and bourbon. You got to go there.
They have a very tall bourbon bar.
Yeah.
It's quite, and they got a ladder. They go get stuff. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, so if anybody who knows Jake's knows that when you got this, was it a new place or was it the old place?
It was the new place.
The old place used to just be in the strip mall plaza across the street. Yeah. And they did very well there. And then they built this brand new, it's a work of art in there. Mm-hmm. It really is the kind of place that you might go there and you might go oh, really? Do I want to pay X amount of money for a glass of bourbon? When once you're in there and the ambiance and the atmosphere hits you, you're kind of man, this just feels right.
Yeah, they have a humidified cigar room you can go into and purchase. Like I said, the bar back is, I mean, it's what, 2 stories tall, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Leather couches everywhere, TVs everywhere.
Yep.
It's just kind of a really cool hangout spot.
Yeah, indoor, outdoor seating area too.
Yeah.
And I guess it's better that we talk about Jake's because there's really not a whole lot to say about the design of the bottle.
There is.
You know?
We went off on a little tangent, but yeah, it's the same Jefferson's, you know and love the bottle anyway. So
Yeah. And then it just has like the special sticker and the neck tag. And then Jake's Cigar Bar has a sticker on in the back that says, "I'm your Huckleberry" with, is that Val Kilmer?
it is Val Kilmer. That's the, I guess that's the name of the pick.
That's the name of the pick? Okay. All right. Well, I like that. It's a cool sticker.
Yeah, it is.
Very
I wish on these these weirdly named picks,
Yeah.
they had some sort of neck tag on it to tell you kind of like where the name came from.
Oh, yeah. Like, here's how this came about. It
Yeah.
could be like, we were drunk at 3 a.m. at so-and-so's house and thought this would be a good idea.
Okay, maybe scratch that.
I just imagine a majority of the picks based on the stickers I've seen online have to be like that, right?
Yeah.
Somebody wasn't of sound mind and body. I mean, this one's tasteful, but a lot aren't.
Yeah.
So, Steven, I'm kind of indifferent tonight because this is a Jefferson's product.
Right.
And the long storied history of our podcast shows that we reviewed a regular Jefferson's. What was it, like? Very, very old, very, very
I think it was
neat.
I think it was
very,
the Jefferson's Reserve.
Jefferson's very, very reserve. I remember there's a lot of varies involved. Very small batch, very straight and old, or something weird like that. But yes, so we reviewed that, and we reviewed the Twin Oak, and I remember not liking the regular Jefferson's, but thinking the Twin Oak was serviceable and nice.
Yeah. Well, maybe the third time is a charm.
Ooh, perhaps it is, and that's kind of
Yeah, I mean, this has a lot of people talk about the oceans.
I do have to say that I think of all the things that I've heard people mention about Jefferson's, other than the old stuff that was supposedly sourced from Stetzel Weller that they bottled very early on. This is probably the thing that gives them the most notoriety.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very unique.
Oh, 100%.
The process is very unique.
And I would like to talk a little bit about that process here because I'm trying to think, like, now I think it's almost become a trend. Has it become a trend?
Have others been doing it?
I've heard that, but I don't. I've heard of O.H. Ingram.
You know what? I think I have. Do they just store them at sea, or does it actually move? Because I think the whole Jefferson's thing is I think they go across the equator like 4 times.
Yeah, they're actually on a cargo ship or something like that, right? Where they load the barrels
of
and
the, of the ocean, and heat shifts.
Yes. I think the other one, and I don't know a lot about it, so I'm not going to act like I know, but I think it was O.H. Ingram, and I believe their thing is either Tennessee or Mississippi. I can't remember where they're at, or maybe they're in Tennessee on the Mississippi River. Would that make sense? No, it doesn't go that far over there, does it?
If it touches the west side of the state, maybe.
Well, we know my history of rivers on this podcast, and I don't know anything about. Geography is not my strong suit, or whatever you want to call it. So
the Ohio feeds into the Mississippi.
That can't be right. You were going to be like, this is the dumbest academic guy I've ever heard in my life. That's okay. This is not my subject area. But I think they have barges, and they just have the barrels setting on the barges, and the barges are stationary, but they kind of go up and down. And because they go up and down, I think that's trying to create the same kind of variance and whatever they're trying to do with ocean aging.
Okay, but it doesn't.
No, I don't think they undock the barge and take it out. Yeah,
Okay.
I think it just sits there and goes up and down with the current.
Okay, but they don't have the sea salt, the sea air to affect it like this product quote does.
Yeah, definitely not. Definitely not.
So that'd be interesting to see if any of that comes through.
We should have brought an OH. Is that even available? We should have found some OH Ingram and brought it in here and tried it side by side. That'd be good.
Well, are you ready for your first notes?
Let's do it. So for being a wheated mash bill, there's quite a bit of sweetness, which I guess you expect for well-aged wheated bourbons to have a nice amount of sweetness.
Like a caramel apple?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. I'm relying more heavily on your nose tonight because I am still suffering the after effects of my allergies. It's not COVID, I promise.
You hear that, everyone?
Would I lie? I would not lie to you.
There is a little ethanol. There's you get the nice vanilla from the side.
Yeah, I'm getting vanilla. I'm getting a little bit of the oak that I'm getting in the nose. Almost smells like it's wood that would be sitting outside, like it's seasoned by the outdoors. That's, I don't know. That's the oak tones I'm picking up.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. But yeah.
You know, I can't tell if just the name on the bottle or if I am getting a little bit of that kind of that sea air a little bit. That's kind of like
perhaps some saltiness.
Yeah.
Like a little bit of that. Maybe maybe I'm nosing that. Like in describing what I'm calling the oak, I think that might be the overlap with perhaps a little bit of ocean influence.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to tell if my mind's just been tricked by the name of it or if that's actually what I'm getting and it's something else.
Yeah. Its color looks good when I swirl it, and
got pretty good legs.
Does have good legs.
Somewhat okay.
Yeah, they fall off a little bit quick, but it's a pretty sweet nose. All things considered. Yeah. It's a weird balance though, because you're right. If you catch it the wrong way, you catch the ethanol, which is kind of a little shocking for 90 proof.
90 proof, yeah.
So before we taste this, do you think aging at sea is a gimmick, or do you think that? So when I read about it, the stuff that was written said that the motion and the heat of the boat is what gives the liquid more contact with the barrel, and thus creating a faster aging process.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I can see, them loading it on the boat and letting it go out for a couple months.
Yeah.
And as it crosses the equator, 3-4 times, it just kind of accelerates the aging process and, gets those flavors in and out of that barrel faster.
Okay.
As far as it's moving back and forth, so I can see it sloshing around inside the barrel. Is it picking up the air, the salt in the air? It's kind of hard to say. Maybe the outer barrels, maybe.
Yeah.
More so than like the inner barrels.
That's true.
Maybe all of it gets somewhat infused by it, but.
Well, that's the other thing. Like, do we know really anything about the ship? Like, is the ship airtight, or does it hit like waves that are like 19 feet tall, and then all the barrels get soaked by seawater?
Yeah, I don't know.
That would be awesome if it did.
You're thinking of more of like a
fishing boat.
You're thinking more of a Santa Maria type of ship.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah. That's right. So maybe the ships are more modern, is what you're saying, when I'm conceptualizing them.
You just want a real old vessel. It's just loaded down these barrels.
I can't figure out what it's a pirate ship.
We want to go for a first taste?
Yes. So this has a little bit more spice than I would have thought it would have for a weeder.
It's very easy to drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I say spice, I'm talking about like a nice, rounded, peppery spiciness.
On the back of the palate?
Yeah, on the back of the palate. And the front's like very pleasurable, sweet notes.
Yeah, it hits you with that little bit of heat on around the tongue. But it's very, would you call this thin? I feel like it just kind of goes right through my mouth.
Yeah, it's not particularly a viscous liquid. It doesn't coat the mouth very well. It does have nice flavors. I'll give it that. Like I said, I didn't expect this much spice profile from a weeder. I'm going to get those spices here in a second, but
I'm getting some of those fruits that came through on the nose.
Which ones particularly?
I think I was getting a little pear and apple coming through.
Yeah, I definitely think they're those variety of fruits and not like the darker fruits.
Yeah,
for sure. And then back to the oak profile, it's actually softened a little bit. I thought it was a little bit more seasoned, and it's not. It's like
I like that descriptor, softened.
Yeah, it's kind of flat almost. It's like a flat, soft kind of an oak. It's okay. It's not, to me. I like it, but I don't love it.
It's kind of like the oak kind of spreads out on your tongue.
Yeah.
Like the middle and then kind of fades to the side.
And it gets astringent. It gets a little bit like bitter. Spicy, but then a little bit bitter.
As it kind of flows,
as it flows through and dissipates. Yeah. Really, really soft. There's a little bit of grain. It doesn't have as much punch as I thought it would.
No.
It's a smooth drink, though, for sure.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's a very smooth drink.
Yeah. I wonder what the process is like of selecting this as a single barrel. Do you get to go out on the boat in the ocean and like the waves are crashing? It's like Deadliest Catch. And Jake's over there like, hold on, my cigar is going to fall. And then he's like, we got the one and I think we need it. Jake doesn't sound like that. I'm just over here, dramatizing what it be like if he was selecting this barrel out on the sea. And I think that sounds like a fun time, doesn't it?
I mean, if that's the way it goes.
I think it does. I think that everybody's smoking a cigar and they're out there just trying to hold on for dear life while they're tasting a whiskey. And
nice.
Even if that didn't happen, it's a great story.
Shrimp cocktails for all.
Shrimp cocktail. When you get back, king crab and shrimp cocktails for everybody, and we'll take our barrel and go home. So, Stephen, this is pretty exciting, but this past week you played in a Squares game in a local bourbon group.
I did. I rarely play because I have bad luck.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, this isn't that expensive to enter. Let me go ahead and do this and, play because the prizes were pretty good.
Oh, absolutely.
And lo and behold, first quarter, who won?
I know, man. I was so jealous. So we're sitting there. We all buy, like me, you, and Michael all bought, I think, like 2 or 3 squares, right?
Each, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a 100-square game in this local group, and it just makes watching football a little bit more fun.
Yeah.
And so, what did you actually win?
I won a Baby Saz store pick.
Oh man, we love the Baby Saz, so I can't wait to. When you open that one, are you going to share it with me?
I sure will.
Oh, see, this is why we play the Squares too, because then I can share with you. But I just want to give a quick shout out to Jay, Jason, and Darren who run that local group, and they do a nice job with that Square stuff. So if you're involved in any bourbon stuff on the online, you're looking to spice up your group, you might look into doing a Squares game for whatever your local team might be, a college game or an NFL game, because it does make it a lot of fun. It also creates a lot of camaraderie. You get like people like they're like commenting on like, oh God, I hope this happens and stuff. So it's almost like fantasy, only there's a couple bottles of bourbon on the line.
Yeah, there's some bourbon dorks doing it.
Yeah, just some bourbon dorks doing it. So all good.
So Anthony, would you pass, try, or buy on the Jefferson Ocean Aged at Sea Voyage 19 straight bourbon whiskey?
That was very serious.
Yes.
What if I just punt it right back to you and I go pass right back to you?
So are you passing? You're just want me to go first?
I'm just passing it back to you, so I want you to go first. I really want to hear your take on this one.
Okay. I think of the 3 Jefferson's products, this is probably my favorite so far.
Okay.
Like I enjoy this. I think I actually hit the bottle every once in a while just to change it up. I mean, it's got less than half of it left. Yeah. So I think over the years I've kind of done it, and I do it neat, and I still can't decide if I taste sea salt or not.
You probably do.
Yeah.
No.
So, but here's I'm torn. It's a nice drink. It's got a fun story, but it's an $80 bottle.
Yeah, that's true.
Do I buy or do I try? I'm kind of right in the middle here.
I get the conflict. It's quite the conundrum.
Yeah. I would say if you're collecting, I would say buy it because it's one of those weird ocean products.
Yeah.
That you probably just want to have around. If you don't care, I'll probably try it.
Okay. Because
it's actually a soft 90 proof drink.
I agree.
So, and just at the $80, I'd probably try it then.
Yeah, it sounds like I like that. So you've gone between a buy and a try.
Yeah.
I get that you're conflicted there. Can I do something really fun and really adventurous for this pass, try, or buy?
Are you going to pick the or?
No, I'm going to do a familiar review system, but for our listeners. Is that all right?
Go.
Okay, I've got the clearance, so here we go. So on the nose, I'm going to give this a sideways thumb. Okay. On the palate, I'm going to give it thumbs up. And on the finish, I'm going to give it a sideways thumb. And so when I put all those thumbs together,
you got a try plus?
I am also going to be a try plus. No, I'm kind of close to buy because of the Jefferson's products. Again, thinking about what we've tried, I've only had one product that we didn't try on the show that I really enjoyed more, which was, I think, their double rye aged at sea.
Nice.
And so the aged at sea to me is where Jefferson's excels. And
I mean, that would make sense because this is the one I think that we've enjoyed the most.
Yeah. 100%. And I think we were a try on the Twin Oak as well, if I remember. So Jefferson still hasn't pushed the needle for me to make me run out and buy it as much as I probably would for other bourbons. But I do think this is really serviceable, and I think that the fact that Jake's probably had some pretty decent bourbon people picking this probably helped its cause too.
Yes, this is a pick. I mean, they have these non-picks, obviously, right?
Yeah.
I wonder, it'd be a little cheaper.
I don't really
they all
think
about
so.
The same?
I think if I remember correctly, I have had one quite a while ago when it first became the weeded mash bill. Like I think that was 4 years ago, and I think it was $70. So not that much cheaper.
Yeah, the $10 or $15.
Yeah, yeah, for the premium for the store pick.
For the store pick. But so Anthony, before we leave this episode,
absolutely,
I have some exciting news to share.
Ooh,
I actually got my hands on something for fall release.
And okay, so you've actually got your hands on something. I'm not sure if I've gotten anything yet besides, I got some good stuff, but not like fall release stuff. What'd you get?
I got a little book, chapter 6.
Oh man, that was on your wish list. That was like one that you said. I remember distinctly. I think it was that and birthday bourbon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got it. I got it at Kroger of all places.
Oh, that's nice, man. Like,
it was a good grab, and I didn't get it. I got it pretty much for MSRP. So
yeah, I mean, sometimes you get lucky, and it sounds to me like you got really lucky.
Yeah. So yes,
one down, 9,000 more to go.
And with that, thanks for listening to this week's edition. Please like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at TheMashupKY. Also, let us know your thoughts on the spot in the comment section. Until next time, keep it neat.